Sportz Nutz.
The Sportz Nutz are back.
You are now listening to the Sportz Nutz.
Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another great episode of your favorite sports talk show. It is the Sportz Nutz. We are thrilled to have you join us. Hey, let's real quick give a special shout out to 95.5 KFCE, TigerNation.live, and the other 7 radio stations we air on, plus the 49 countries we also air in. Thank you guys so much. And also, real quick, let's give a special shout out to our sponsor, Kalama's Cuisine. If you live on Hawaii, more specifically the island of Oahu, and you are having a graduation ceremony, a family outing, corporate event, and you need someone who caters, just send me a message, and I will be more than happy to get you in touch with our good friend Bobby at Kalama's Cuisine. Sorry, there's a glare. If I'm gonna have my wife put the screen out the blind because it's really blinding. I'm sorry, I apologize about that one. Oh man, but we are you're in line for a good show tonight. It's still there, turn the other way, babe. Real quick though, man, Shane, it's hope you're doing well. How was your weekend with the family, man?
Oh man, it was great. Man, got to see a lot of family, got to eat a lot of good food. For once, I didn't have to do much. My sister was filling up to it, so her and a couple others took over the duties, and thankfully they did. We got to relax and really enjoy some time celebrating Grandma's 90th. But man, other than that, a lot of driving.
That's the truth.
And you know how Columbia is coming through there. So
nice traffic world. That is always a construction zone. I swear the entire city of Columbia is construction zone.
It's a construction zone, takeoff ramp, whatever you want to call it.
Takeoff ramp.
Yeah, because when you get down on the interstate there in Columbia, it's a free for all almost. So you just kind of hope and pray as you go through. But other than that, man, glad to be back. And then again, here I am going to be back for this episode and miss Friday. We're traveling again, except all the way to Myrtle Beach this time. So definitely excited to see some friends and all this weekend. But man, really excited for the show. I think we got some great topics and stories. I think that we're going to share with you guys out there, and hopefully you enjoy them. We got a lot of interaction from you guys tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Ben will be joining us momentarily. He is finishing up his work. And then also Matt is unfortunately not joining us tonight. He has acute bronchitis and he sounds pretty yucky. So Matt, get better. We got to talk to him before. And I want to let everybody know also, we do have a person who has asked, how does someone know? We are not bringing anybody else onto the show for a while. However, we are close to possibly getting 1 or 2 last members of the website. We are really excited. You know them very well, Shane. It's Cole. Remember Cole, who was our Baltimore Ravens guy? Him and his buddy Jordan are most likely going to be a part of the website too. So really excited about them. And I want to get everybody also a special announcement. Next Wednesday, the 17th of June, the Sportz Nutz is teaming up with John from the Pitch Grid. Him and I are going to be doing a FIFA World Cup weekly, and you might be lucky to see Shane or Matt or Ben join us if they do. It's cool. But it'll be him and I. We might bring on a couple of guests once in a while to talk about the FIFA World Cup and everything. So just stay tuned on that one.
Can you guys please talk about the potential matchup if USA ends up number 2 seed in their pool and Iran number 2 in their seed in their pool, how they will play each other on July 3rd, the day before the 4th of July. And
what a coinky-dink
anniversary. So yeah, it's pretty coincidental there, but please, you guys got to go a little bit deeper into that if you can.
Yeah. We're going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun. It is going to be the full 90 minutes. It'll be on every Wednesday is what John and I have come to the agreement on. So we're looking forward to that one. Hey, a little update on the recovery for me and my knee replacement. You know, I have been officially discharged from physical therapy at physical therapy. However, I still have a very long road of recovery ahead of me. This weekend, I unfortunately got a little bit of overworking. I did 30,000 steps because you guys know this weekend was Addison's All-Star Softball. And I absolutely felt every single step. Yeah, you best believe it hurt. But we're doing good, and I'm getting better every day, so that's all that matters. Tonight, y'all, we're excited. We had to have everyone hopefully get a chance to interact with the show. We have some very solid talking points, so get your popcorn ready. Grab yourself a nice cold refreshment, and let's get it going. What are we talking about tonight? Well, by now, you probably know, and if not, you've literally been living under a rock, but we're on the cusp of the quote-unquote first dead zone in sports. It's a real thing. There officially are 2, however, some say there's 3. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. It's like a little segment I'm going to do. It's each episode, we're going to give you a list of the names for sports that we are focusing on. Today, we're going to focus on I'm going to give you a list of 4 names of players, great running backs who never got the chance to win a Super Bowl. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. And as you guys know, baseball is literally one of the oldest, if not the oldest sport in American history. And some historians have said there is a version of baseball that started back in the late 1780s. But the reason why we're talking about baseball is because what do you guys think is the list of the potential top foods and drinks that are bought at games? And it actually is going to be pretty surprising. So stay on, think about that in a second. And then the Chicago Bears, they are leaving Chicago. All signs point to that they are relocating Indiana. What does this mean for the NFL in the future market? Stay tuned on that. We'll talk to you about one. And then there's some really big news to share out of the University of Hawaii. New Aloha Stadium is in the works. Opening day is August of 2029. And the Sportz Nutz Network, as you said, we will also be there for opening week. But there is a massive influx of cash that is going to be revenue that's going to be coming into the University of Hawaii and the state of Hawaii. What is it? We'll talk to you about that in just a few minutes. And then, of course, everybody, stop, Stella. As everybody knows, it is our sports stories where Shane and I and Ben will give you a sports story. Sorry, Stella is bothering me. And then our favorite segment will be the honorable mentions, where we give you 2 to 5 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't focus enough on, but we do because it's literally in our DNA. That and a whole lot more. Plus, we have you guys, the most interactive fans there are. So let's get into it. Like I said, you guys probably know by now, if you're not, you've been living under a rock, but we literally are on the cusp of the first dead zone in sports. Now, there are 2 every year. Some say it's 3, but what it is every year in the weeks leading up to the summer season, and again, right after the season of college football and NFL end, that's kind of the first dead zone. And then the Super Bowl, like right after the Super Bowl, before you get into the next set of, you get into the summer sports, it's a dead zone. And then right before the NFL season and college football season starts, that's a second dead zone. Some people say there's a third one. That one is debatable. But the reason why we bring this up now, the sports world is dead with sports and news is the reason why they say that. So the question to start off this is each of us are going to give us our answers, and you are two fans. But who on this list, in your opinion, is the greatest running backs to never win a Super Bowl? And I'm going to give you these lists, and I'm going to start with you, Shane. Here's the list going from 4 to 1. Number 4, Eric Dickerson. Number 3, Priest Holmes. Number 2, Marcus Allen. And number 1, Jim Brown. So what I want you to do is give us your on that list, those 4. Who do you think is the greatest to not out of that 4 to not win a Super Bowl? And do you think that if they were to play in today's standards and their prime, they would win a Super Bowl? So Shane, on that list, who do you think is the greatest greatest running back to never win a Super Bowl?
Well, you kind of know me. I'm kind of rebellious type a little bit, so I'm going to give out 2 honorable mentions to 2 of the greatest who I think never won a Super Bowl, and one being Thurman Thomas with the Bills in the '90s, and then also possibly the one of the greatest rushers of all time, and Mr. LaDainian Tomlinson. He's set records, but speaking of records, it's going to lead me to the one back that I would say is the best running back not to win the Super Bowl out of that list, and that's going to be Eric Dickerson.
Yes.
When you combine his size at 6'3", 220, and the speed that he had, kind of injury prone towards the latter part of his career, but man, was a great runner. I mean, he's record for rushing yards in the season. I mean, over 2,000 yards in the season. Still holds the playoff record for 243 or 45 yards in a playoff game for rushing. He from I think there was a span from I think 1983 to 1988 where he led the league in rushing 4 out of those 6 years. Kind of a perennial All-Pro, Pro Bowl selection. So definitely my bid's going to be for Eric Dickerson on that. And then the second part of the question is going to go with the same guy. I mean, if I had to build a team right now just based purely on athleticism and what product they put on the field, it's going to be Eric Dickerson because, as everybody out there knows, the game, it's much more about the physical specimens now. I'm not going to say the game's more physical, but everybody has size now. Yep. So that's one of the things that you got to have. But now, like you could put some some with a couple other names on this list, especially if I'm with the Patriots. Marcus Allen is the guy that I'm going to go for. The locker room guy, the leadership, and everything, and that's a Patriots pick. to me. If me just starting the team, it's definitely going to be Eric Dickerson. That first name that you got there at number 1, Jim Brown. Technically, he did win a championship. It wasn't a Super Bowl, but he won a championship. That kind of veers me away from that one automatically.
I'm surprised you didn't mention anything about Priest Holmes, though, because Priest Holmes was a magnificent specimen.
Well, for a good 3-4 year span, he was great. Him and Terrell Davis, they remind me a lot of each other. Same career paths. One just won a Super Bowl, one didn't.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 that you gave us, he is probably by far the best pass catching back. Because of the latter, he was coming up through the NFL when running backs had to catch a little bit more when the offense is involved. So definitely, you look at that aspect, but still, Dickerson out of those four, kind of head and shoulders, no, no pun intended, really, than all the other ones.
In case you couldn't know, he was also in a Head and Shoulders commercial. Just saying. I agree 100%. Eric Dickerson was a specimen to behold. I was not around when he played, but I was, but I wasn't. But
you were. You were.
I'm not that old. I'm only 42 years old. Come on now. But I will say this.
Played, I think whenever I was born. So
yeah, he played for a while, but I didn't really turn into football until '92 when my sister introduced me to football. But one thing that he was a star with was the Pony Express. Remember, SMU was like the perennial powerhouse for a long time. And then unfortunately, they had the death penalty issued against them, and they came back, and they've slowly but surely erased the memories of the death penalty on them. But the stats that you see with Eric Dickerson, there is a record that that I don't think will ever be broken, honestly. And that was set 42 years ago when he did do the 2,105 yards in 84. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 5-time first-team All-American, All-Pro, excuse me. And he retired with 13,259 rushing yards. And I'm glad to say that he was inducted in 99 because that would have been really a travesty to leave out someone of a legend with him and his style of gameplay. But if I had to put any of those four on the field right now in today's standards in their prime, I definitely would. I'd agree with you 100%, Shane. Eric Dickerson, I think he could hang with the best because he was built. He does have the size, and he also has the field smart. So when he'd run, he could see the whole developing before it officially developed. Eric Dickerson was something that, I don't know if we're ever going to see someone of his caliber rushing the ball ever again.
And we're seeing it already, Mr. King Henry himself.
That's
same stature, putting up the same amount of rushing yards, leading the league for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Basically, that's kind of what I compare Eric Dickerson in that time to what Derrick Henry is in today's time. That's basically kind of how I made mine.
Look, Jerry said here, Barry Sanders. Yes, Barry Sanders. I hate that he didn't get a chance. I even told you guys this too in the group text. I think that Megatron and Barry Sanders got wasted talent. They were, and they retired. I still think they both retired too early.
Stafford would have been in the same boat if he didn't go to LA.
Yeah, he would. I think they both retired too early. Could you imagine if Megatron played for, let's just say he went at the same, say him and Stafford both went at the exact same time to the LA Rams, they could have won 2, maybe 3 Super Bowls. That's how good they were. And then Barry Sanders, the reason why he left, he really retired because the year before they were doing amazing. They lost in the playoffs. And then they did a story about him. He said the reason why he retired was because they had already informed him they were going to blow the team up. And he didn't want to start from ground zero all over again. So he said no. And that's just kind of been the sentiment for a lot of amazing and gifted and talented athletes leaving the game so early is because the owners are not fully invested. We know an example is the Cincinnati Reds. The owner has already said she doesn't care about winning. And it shows. It's the lack. They have really 1, maybe 2 good players right now on the baseball diamond. And that's it. And that's a disappointment there, and then look, Jerry even said here, LaDainian Tomlinson, which you did mention there too, Shane, but he also mentioned O.J. Simpson, and O.J. Simpson was a unique running back, despite what everybody thinks about O.J. Simpson, and we all have our opinions, and I don't want anybody to share them. That's not what we are. But O.J. Simpson was a heck of a running back, great athlete. But if I had to put my piece right now, put Eric Dickerson in his prime in today's game, I guarantee you he would win at least 2 Super Bowls in his career. That's how amazing of an athlete he was. So, but what do you guys think in the show? I know there's a bunch of you watching right now. Let us know in the comments if out of that list, which one do you think could win a Super Bowl today in their prime, and which one do you think is the greatest out of those four to not win a Super Bowl? Yes, they have championships, but they didn't win a Super Bowl. So let's go to the next topic. Baseball, as you guys know, is the oldest sport in American history, and some historians are saying an actual version, and there is a lot of documented proof that baseball, a version of baseball, was around during the American Revolution, so in the 1780s. But what foods are the most popular to get at a baseball game? Now, here is a list of the potential top foods. Now, I know the percentages. Shane does too. But we want to see what you guys think. And they are in this order, okay? Number 1, hot dogs. 2, nachos. 3, sliced pizza. 4, peanuts. 5, Cracker Jacks. And 6 is a hot pretzel and mustard. Now, just pretend you don't know that you don't know the answer to those, Shanes. Out of those 6, which one do you think is the most purchased food at a baseball game?
I mean, it's America's pastime, probably America's most iconic food. It's going to be a hot dog.
So you're pretty close on that one. So you know the old song "Buy Me Some Peanuts and Cracker Jacks" was from the early 1900s, right? So here is the list, and there also is there's a second part to this question, and I'm gonna get to it in a second. But here is this is the actual, and I'm gonna give it to you from bottom to top. The fewest, or excuse me, the least amount of purchased food at a ballpark is sliced pizza. That is at 18%. The first lowest is Cracker Jacks at 12%. The second one is sliced pizza. And then the third one is nachos. But you're going to be blown away when I tell you this. It's actually not hot dogs. Hot dogs, people do buy 68% of them, yes. However, the second most purchased food item is peanuts. And everybody knows that. And if you don't know that, you're living under a rock. It's 82% of the time people go to the game, they will buy some peanuts. Well, the number one, and this is according to Forbes, the number one food item people buy at a ballpark is a hot pretzel with mustard. At 94.8% of everybody who buys food at a ball game, they're going to get a pretzel. And I can attest to that because every time Cassie and I take the girls to the Greenville Drive, that's the first thing she grabs is a pretzel. So, but on those lists, though, Shane, which one would you prefer to get?
Well, my number one is definitely a hot dog, and I can give you some reasoning behind the pretzel deal. A few years ago, when I went to my last major league ball game, it was in Philly. And pretzels, hot dogs, everything's on the menu right there. Yep. Well, to buy alcoholic beverages, you have to buy a food item at that stadium.
Really?
Guess what one of the cheapest food items is?
It has to be a pretzel.
Yes. A pretzel was the cheapest food item. So needless to say, I ended up with a few cold beverages in cans around me and about 3 or 4 half-eaten pretzels.
But you can never really go wrong with a pretzel, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, and it's good, but my number 2 though would have to be peanuts.
Yep.
And specifically if they're the boiled kind.
Oh, you just said the magic words right there, boiled peanuts. And folks, I know people who are listening don't know what boiled peanuts are. Shane, would you please let everybody know what the greatest tasting peanuts are? And it's boiled peanuts. But let everybody know what those entail.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people have seen them now with the globalization of the food market with the Mrs. Patch peanuts and stuff like that. But man, it's just simple green raw peanuts. You boil them for hours and hours. You season them how you want. I love, especially in the summer, with fresh garden vegetables, peppers out the garden, some jalapenos, slicing them up in there.
You're making me hungry, right?
You're
making me hungry right now, dadgummit.
I mean, that's one of the things I always do. I mean, going to races and tailgates and stuff like that, I always try to boil some peanuts and bring them down. We do enjoy them thoroughly. It's just something to munch on real quick, and you're able to talk and do everything else while you're at it. So boiled peanuts. I agree with everybody that pizza is definitely down on the bottom of the list.
Yeah, why would you want to go to a ballpark and get I mean, first off, it could be 100 freaking degrees. Let's just an example. Let's just say we're in Las Vegas and it's 125 degrees and it feels like 90 degrees. You really want to eat a hot slice of pizza when it's 100 degrees? I said, absolutely not.
Well, one of the reasons behind pizza in ballparks and events and everything, and why people go to it, is because you can attach a lot of these chain restaurants to it, and it's a consistent thing that you can get. So that's one of the things you look at, but those just kind of ones that I think that would highlight and stuff like that on the food side. The other ones are all good and ballpark food in its own, but if you start looking into it though, I'm a foodie myself. If you can't tell,
and that is true, folks. He cooks like no tomorrow. I told Shane he missed his calling to go to culinary arts school because he is the master of chefs. Every time he comes over, we have some amazing food. I mean, the wings that he cooks up, oh my God, they're like heaven on earth. And then when we did our Low Country Boil with him a year ago, oh my God, I think we had 20 or 30 pounds of food, and it was gone within 2 days of that eating. It was like, let's eat it as fast as you could. Oh my God, it was so good. Even my kids who are finicky eaters, they're like, Daddy, when is Mr. Shane going to come back over and make some more of that Low Country Boil? That was so good. I'm like, wow. I mean, it really was good, y'all. I promise you, it was good.
But I think what people look forward to on the foods of the ballpark nowadays is kind of stuff that we've covered before. All the signature stuff that they do, and all these ballparks now have so many restaurants throughout. I mean, you look at the Atlanta Braves with the Chop House, which is basically its own restaurant when the games aren't going, kind of deal.
Yeah.
But
what is the ballpark that has that $150 hot dog? Which one is that one? Is it a burger or a hot dog? It's one of them has a $150 hot dog or something.
Oh no, it's a burger.
Yeah,
because it's made with the full.
It's got like a knife in it too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got the bone for the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Rib that's on top of it. So I mean, and people, all the teams nowadays, they do a great job marketing this stuff, and a lot of people go to the ballparks just to find those foods now, not just going to watch a game and have your classics. They go to find those foods. So
it's always it's an experience behind it too. Like you just said it. It's not just to watch the game. It's also to enjoy the company, the food. And did I mention the food? That's literally what people actually will go. I mean, okay, here's an example. I guarantee not everybody's lining up left and right to go watch the Colorado Rockies right now because they're just not a good product right now. But they have some of the best food you could ever have at a ballpark, and so people are like, let's go try some good food. You know what I mean? You get a lot of good hearty food too at ballparks. But Shane, you know this so well. It ain't nothing like going to a ballpark without getting peanuts, getting a pretzel. Heck, even getting a hot dog. Ain't nothing like it nowhere. I mean, yeah, you can get a hamburger, but a hamburger is actually like the lowest on the totem pole. It's at 6%. That's how low it is. That's pretty sad. But so here's the second part of this question, okay? What do you all think is the most commonly cold refreshment that people consume at a ballpark? And I'm going to give you on a list as well. And it is water, frozen lemonade, soda, or ice cold beer. Out of those four, Shane, what do you think is the number one refreshment people buy at a ballpark?
In my heart, or
not just your heart, but everybody's heart. But everybody's heart. Uh-oh. You there? There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. It's a toss up for me because I've been to a few. I'm going to say the number one is going to be frozen lemonade.
Ooh, you're close. You're really close. The number one is ice cold beer. Literally, it's number one. 84%.
You said not to go with my heart.
Number one, it's number one, everybody. But here's how close frozen lemonade and beer are together. Frozen lemonade is at 80%. Beer is at 84.3%. That's how close they are. Followed behind that is soda. Everybody likes to get a nice cold soda at a ballpark. You know, it's kind of common there. But then, ironically, the last one on the list is water. But it's still widely consumed. But again, you got to go back to thinking about, you know, you're at a ballpark. It's 100 degrees outside. What's the first thing you want to grab? You want to get something that cools you down faster, and it is a sweet treat. So you're going to get the frozen lemonade. You absolutely are going to get the frozen lemonade. Out of those four, though, what do you think is the most expensive at a ballpark?
Oh, the beer.
Oh, God, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Excellent. Hit the nail on the head. And thank you, Dodgers, for this. But you guys, if you go to a Dodgers game, raise your hand. I don't live in LA, so I can't go to say that. But this is what was really weird. And Jessica told me about this, too. My sister Jessica told me about this, too. Her and Angie, my other sister, went to an LA Dodgers game recently. Angie got a beer. You ready to hear how much it was for her beer, Shane? $26 for one beer. And it was through a vending machine, might I add. I'm not spending $26 on a daggone Michelob Ultra. I can't do that. God, no, I could not do that. I physically could not. Even if I had that money, I could not sit and say, I'm going to go spend $26 on a daggone beer. No way I'm going to do that. No. What is the most you've ever spent on a beer, though, Shane?
Ooh,
at a game, I should say.
At a game, I think it was $11.
And that still was pretty penny, though.
On a beer. But now NASCAR, when you go to their races, they have where you can mix the alcohol portion and the frozen lemonade portion together, and they have daiquiri huts and stuff like that.
Really?
So I've spent about $22 on one of the big daiquiris before, but.
Breaking news: Sportz Nutz are going to be going to a race, and Shane is going to introduce us to those adult beverage tints, because that sounds pretty yummy. But
they do a good job.
But I mean, think about this for a second, y'all. Going to a baseball game, and you basically are going to drop almost $30 on one beer. Ain't no way I could not do that. I was talking to our good friend Mark, who is the editor of our website, right? nuttysportstalk.com. And did you happen to see the cheapest tickets for last night's game at Madison Square Garden was over $10,000? And both Mark and I said, I can think of 10,000 other things I could spend $10,000 on instead of sitting in the rafters at it's Madison Square Garden. I get it. I'm not dropping $10,000. Even if I had the money, I still wouldn't be doing that.
Somebody reportedly spent $1 million on 2 seats right there on Celebrity Road.
Ain't no way.
Yeah.
I mean, so, and here's a crazy stat too, y'all. A lot of people who go to these sporting events, they work a lifetime. Don't take a day off. They work a lifetime just to be able to go to one game. Just go to one. That's sad in itself.
Well,
I remember.
It's getting throughout.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
I went recently to look for concert tickets, and you're talking about concert tickets in nosebleed sections, $200+.
So that was another thing both Mark and I talked about. You remember George Strait was here and recently up in the upstate of South Carolina.
I know. I looked.
$1,500 is what he saw the cheapest one for to watch on a glorified television. $1,500 to watch a concert on a glorified TV.
It was a good one though. I had a bunch of family go down for it, so I mean they enjoyed it for sure.
Ben, you there?
So
there we go.
Hey, don't get beat up.
All right, so let's ask you this question then too, okay, Ben? All right, so I'm gonna give you back to the food, and then I'm gonna give you the drink. As you know, baseball is the oldest sport in American history. A lot of the historians actually have linked it to back in the Revolutionary times. What do you think? I'm going to give you a list of 6 items, and I want you to tell me in your thoughts, out of these 6, what is the most consumed or purchased food item? And here are the list. It's hot dogs, nachos, sliced pizza, peanuts, Cracker Jacks, or a hot pretzel and mustard. Out of those 6, what do you think is the most commonly purchased food item at a ballpark?
It's either Cracker Jacks or hot dogs, because Cracker Jacks are what? They're cheapo. It's either Cracker Jacks or hot dogs.
So you're pretty close. The number one food, though, is a hot pretzel with mustard at 94.8%. Nearly 95% of the people who go there, they buy a hot dog, a pretzel. But number 2 is peanuts.
For humanity, pretzel should be number 1.
Well, and number 2, you also mentioned this one too, peanuts. Peanuts is one of the most, and Shane, God, I love that he said this. He even said the best peanuts to get are the boiled peanuts. And if people don't know what they are, man, you're missing out on some daggone good food. But the number 3 most commonly purchased item is hot dogs. 68% of the people who go in there buy a hot dog. So the least amount, though, and this was weird, is Cracker Jacks at 12%. And then right behind it is pizza. If you were to go to a baseball game right now, let's just say you live in Las Vegas and it's 125 degrees outside. They don't have the roof over, right? You really going to sit there and buy a hot slice of pizza at a ballpark when it's 100 degrees outside? Would you do that? No, absolutely not. That do. So in that same boat, I'm going to give you a list of 4 commonly purchased cold refreshments you get at a ballpark. And I want you to tell me which one you think is number 1. Shane hit the nail on the head. Pretty close, actually. But they are beer, soda, frozen lemonade, or water. Out of those 4, which one do you think is the most commonly? You there?
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, I thought you were asking Shane.
No, Shane already answered his question.
I'm going to say, well, no, actually, I take it back. For the same reason that you just said pizza, you don't want to order pizza on a hot day. Like, I don't know. I mean, a beer's not really going to refresh you. I'm going to say water.
That's actually the least amount of the number 1 is beer.
Come on, America. 2, just when I thought that we had hope. Just when I thought we had hope with pretzels, we're back to square one.
Number 1.
We do. It's called Budweiser.
That don't quit your thirst when it's 95 degrees and 80% humidity, man.
That is true.
Hey, so something else we got from German descent.
But the number 1 is beer, but number 2, literally right behind it, is frozen lemonade. And that is
I can believe.
Yeah, that's a pretty good that's a pretty good one there. I mean, think about it. When you go to a ballpark, you're like, I don't really want to think about water. I want to get something that's cold, that's sweet, and it's a treat. The first thing you're gonna do, let's go get a frozen lemonade. Or if you're 21 or older, you're gonna get a beer. And I told Shane this story, and my sister Jessica told me this. And her and my other sister Angie went to an LA Dodgers game. They spent $26 on a beer. That's about $24 more that I want to spend on a beer. And I said, Jessica, why did you guys buy a nearly 30? And they get it out. And here's the even better part too, Ben. They got it out of a vending machine. You spent nearly $30 to get a Michelob Ultra out of a vending machine. I can think of a whole lot of other things to buy for $30 than a daggone beer. So crazy, you know what I mean? But I thought it was pretty cool to share that story with you. Now, this next one, I'm really excited to share with you guys. It is official. The Chicago Bears are leaving Chicago. Well, that's really, really weird to say, but all signs point to that they are going to be relocating to Hammond, Indiana. It was believed for a while that they were going to go to Arlington Heights. However, the reason why they chose not to do Arlington Heights is because they needed more land to accommodate the parking situation, and they could not find a feasible spot that had to eminent domain, which people don't know if they don't know. That means that the state takes your property out underneath you to use it for better tax opportunities. And they had eminent domain a lot, and just to get the parking situation there. But the reports are, so actually here's what this is: a very big move for the Bears, as they are going to be sharing the same state with the Indianapolis Colts. But reports are that the NFL is ready and excited for the potential relocation, with 31 out of the 32 owners have voted in favor of this move. Obviously, the one that said no was the Chicago Bears. But what do you guys think this will mean to you within the next 3 years, that we won't have a team called the Chicago Bears? We'll have them the Hammond Bears or the Indiana Bears. It's a weird thing to see
the Ham and Honey Bears.
There you go. But, what do you guys think? And I'm going to start with you on this too, Ben. What do you think this would mean for the potential for future NFL markets who say that they just want to either they want to up and quit or they want to have a brand new franchise? Do you think that they will ever bring back another franchise to Chicago with the Bears relocating?
So there's kind of a two-part question, I understand.
Yes.
No, and no. And I'll tell you why. The Chicago Bears, that name's not going anywhere, guys. They're not going to name them the Ham and Honey Bears because it's about marketing at the end of the day. Who the heck's going to travel from Louisiana or Arkansas or California to go see a Ham and Honey Bear game or whatever? They're not going to do that. If it's advertised as Chicago Bears, they're still going to go. And they can still do that. They're not going to change the name. They're only 30, 45 minutes outside of downtown. I mean, yeah, it's across the state border, but who cares? I don't think they're going to change the name.
What about the Chicago Bears of Hammond, Indiana?
That's what I'm saying. They're not changing. I don't think they're going to change the name. I've heard no rumors or anything about that. I just don't see it. It doesn't make any sense. Secondly, I don't think another team will move to Chicago. I mean, it's like I said, we're making a big fuss out of this as if they're moving to Texas. They're not moving to Texas.
I think it's more because it's a historic franchise too. That's why people are making a fuss about it.
I understand, but they're moving maybe an hour and a half at most outside of downtown. It's not like they're moving. It's not like they're moving across the country. So, I think this is a big nothing burger, man. Let me put it this way: if they were 2 hours away from Chicago, but still in the state of Illinois, if they were in Springfield, they'd still be called the Chicago Bears for crying out loud.
Absolutely.
And nobody would be making a fuss, but because it's in a different state, we got to make a big fuss about it. I don't think it's a big nothing burger. I think they're still going to be called the Chicago Bears.
And part of the reason why they are relocating is because they couldn't find an actual agreement. The state, everything in the city, they didn't want to dome Soldier Field.
This is why they're moving.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They didn't want to spend that money to dome. They said that the renovations alone to dome Soldier Field was like $2 billion. I'd like to see.
Field is outdated. It's
old.
I love Soldier Field.
The oldest stadium.
Listen, I of all people appreciate history. I love history, but it's time. It's time that they moved. It's time that they got a new stadium. It's past time. They should have got a new stadium 10, 15 years ago. We're arguing semantics at this point, but I really think they moved here. They should have moved there. It doesn't matter. They deserved a new stadium, and it's the smallest stadium in the NFL by a long shot.
It is the oldest too, though. But
if you do some research, the infrastructure around it just makes no sense. There's zero parking basically, and you have to walk like 4 miles to get to downtown. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing about Soldier Field that makes
sense. It's like more of a industrial location too. It's a weird situation where it's at. What do you think, Shane? Do you think that this is a good move for the Chicago Bears moving to Hammond, Indiana? And just like I asked Ben, do you think there's going to ever be another NFL franchise to relocate to Chicago?
Okay, I'm with Ben. There will be no name change. Ben, you're correct because I looked it up. From Hammond to Chicago downtown is a 8-minute train ride, a 50-minute bus ride, which their public transportation has routes that go back and forth from there, but they still have it. And it's a 38-minute car ride and only 28 miles from downtown Chicago. So it's not a far move at all. You look at it, the Dallas Cowboys, they play in Arlington, but they're not the Dallas Cowboys of Arlington. Arlington is 24 miles away from Dallas. You look at Arrowhead Stadium, how far away from the Kansas City Center it is. New England Patriots, they claim Boston, but play in Foxborough. You can go on, and what these
look at the Atlanta Braves. They play in Cobb County, Marietta. More specifically, I
was going to say the Braves play
They play in Marietta. They're not called the Marietta Braves.
Oh yeah, well that's why I was just giving the NFL versions, because I mean, you got the Washington Commanders play in Maryland. So you have all this, but all these moves were made by people with a lot of money and made decisions to try to bring in more money. It makes sense to have a centralized fan location where tailgating and parking and the fan focus is on that game and on that area. So it makes sense, and with it being so close, you're going to exclude all that noise of bringing another team to Chicago, because if they bring another team to Chicago after moving the Bears, why wouldn't they just give it to the Bears in the first place? So it's not like it's just moving cities and stuff. It's ownerships and state governments and city governments and everybody that's involved in what it takes to build a premier NFL stadium now, which seems to be about to the tune of $4 billion. So
down the head. But what talks the most too, Shane, is the almighty dollar.
Yeah, but I could see if they won't do that to the fans of the true Chicago Bears, because as you mentioned, the history and being one of the oldest franchises in the NFL, they won't do that for that simple fact too. They if they move anything back to Chicago, it will be the Chicago Bears going back.
It's going to be weird not to see, though.
And the state of Indiana is going to be on the hook for a lot of money that they were promised.
But, it's going to be weird not seeing. We're not, I mean, we're only, probably 3 years out from not seeing, or 4 years away from not seeing Soldier Field anymore. That's been a staple for, all of our lives. It's been around since 1934. It's if not the oldest. Actually, it is the oldest. It's the oldest stadium in professional football. Right behind it is Lambeau, literally a year after, kind of thing.
Yeah, but you see many other historic NFL franchises going away. Now, all riots and everything will break loose if Green Bay ever decides to do it.
Oh my God, could you imagine?
But the fans,
they would dissolve the whole town.
So, the NFL will cease to exist.
Yes, they would dissolve literally the entire town if they got rid of Green Bay.
Oh yeah, so
you think the streets of New York are bad with the finals right now? You see nothing.
yeah, it's but it's one of those changes that we see other franchises have made, and it's made a difference in what they do. Getting their atmosphere and everything up and going, and like you said, with the money brings nice new everything, and people are excited for it. Depends on how long, but with them being kind of just in the southern suburb of Chicago and Indiana, it's not going to make that much of a difference. They're just going out there to have space, because you can't build a football stadium up.
And there's reports that it's going to be a dome. It will, I think, and we've had this discussion many times, that I believe every stadium eventually will become a domed stadium of some sort.
If they want to host a Super Bowl in the North.
Yep. Unless it is.
I don't think Green Bay will. I don't think Green Bay will. I don't think
Green Bay will never. They will never transition to a dome, because that's part of the whole environment.
If Buffalo didn't do it this time, I don't think they ever will either.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever will. Now they do have the screen that will protect the fans per se from the snow part and the weather element, but not the cold. They're not going to prevent from the cold, and the players are still going to get affected by it. Ben, we've also talked about this too. Ain't no way anybody's going to sit there and say, "Oh man, I'm going to go to Cleveland, Ohio to go watch the Super Bowl." Ain't nobody going to do that. And if you are, boy, you guys are you literally are living the biggest lie. If you think you're going to go tell everybody you're going to go to Cleveland, Ohio to go watch the Super Bowl, this ain't ever going to happen. So yeah. No, but here's the next topic, guys. This one is actually very exciting news to share. First off, today, actually, a new portion of this story is I'm going to bring to you guys. But first, everybody knows that New Aloha Stadium is in the works already, and opening day is officially August of 2020. And I believe it's August 20th, if I'm not mistaken. And they take on Arizona. We will be there. The Sportz Nutz, the entire Sportz Nutz network will be there. We are going to be out there too. For opening week, but currently it is slated to only hold 35,000 seats. But They also are including a 2,500 to 5,000 additional seats and luxury seating. However, and this is really cool today, they made the announcement officially that Aloha Stadium demolition is 2.5 months ahead of demolition and construction. Old Aloha Stadium, they took the final part of the stands off. They tore it down. They're not blowing it up because of a lot of traditional Hawaiian, they call them heiaus, which is like ancient burial grounds. They don't allow that kind of stuff. So they're pulling them down, basically. They took the last bit of it down today. But I'm going to put a slide up for you guys. And it was announced that they are going, within the first 5 years, let's see, this is it. No, that's not it. This is it right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm sorry. This is a screenshot from my phone. In the first 5 years, they are going to expand New Aloha Stadium to grow to 50,000 seats. But that's not all. The Aloha Stadium District in the Halawa region will be getting an estimated, it says 4 billion. It's actually $4.5 billion in expansion by the year 2035. Now, people don't realize this. There is a term, it's called Hawaiian time, which means you'll get there when you get there. There's no definitive time. Well, even though they've estimated it 2035, it could be later, but it'll be a live, work, play environment plus a whole lot more. And they're also going to be renovating the Stan Sheriff Center, which is where the basketball and the volleyball teams play. And they just finished the renovations for the Les Murakami, which is where the baseball team plays. They're also going to be renovating the women's softball team. But this is a really cool thing to talk about, that the fact that the state of Hawaii is getting basically nearly a $5 billion investment into their sports. That's big. Shane, what does that mean to you? Sorry, somebody's here, but what does that mean to you knowing that the state of Hawaii is going to get nearly a $5 billion expansion in the coming decade?
Oh yeah, well, to me, it's a great move, and it sounds like the university and the state, although is the University of Hawaii, and it's a state, it's still a smaller environment when you look at the city itself and everything, and so I kind of look at it as they're taking on the same kind of prospect as all these other major Division I college programs in small college towns. To be able to compete on that major level, you have to have the infrastructure around it and the people to support it. And so that just shows Hawaii's commitment not only to the university but to the area around it to make it so big. I mean, you look at Clemson. I've popped on the map over the past 20 years, and there's not really much there. But it has grown so much in that small area that it's expanding into the other small cities around there now. And so, growth like that at a university not only means success for that university and that state off the football, off any field, but it puts focus towards that university in the sports and athletic fields. So it's definitely great to see. And, I think, as you mentioned, they're on Hawaii time. It'll be a multi-stage process. And one that I know our good friend Ben Jay that we've had on was paying close attention to, but one that I think, to do it in these small steps and not do too much at once. Just kind of be realistic, set goals, and work to get there. Just don't go ahead and plop it all down, and then you're there and it doesn't work out, and now you're left with a $1 billion infrastructure bill that you are looking how to pay.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What about you, Ben? What does this mean to you, knowing that like Shane just alluded to, that they're finally investing in the future of athletics in the state of Hawaii?
Well, it's definitely much needed. they've been outdated for a long time. I mean, as great as Aloha Stadium is, we all love it. You know, they've had many a Pro Bowls out there. You know, it's such a much like Soldier Field, very historical stadium, and it definitely has some special value. But you know, the updates are much needed, unfortunately. And you know, hopefully now with them putting more money into the University of Hawaii's athletic program, you know, especially the football program, you know, hopefully now they should be able to recruit more recruits, you know, nationwide, not just in the state of Hawaii. You know, we talked, you know, we talked to Benjay about this a little bit as well, but you know, we talked a little bit about how challenging it is to get recruits to come to Hawaii, you know, regardless of how much money is being put in the program, because I mean, let's face it, guys. Yeah, you can probably take the student athlete out of the term student, especially the top level players. You know, they're really just athletes. But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, they're still mama's boy. They're still daddy's boy. And it's hard for mom and daddy to go, yeah, all right, son, pat them on the butt and say, all right, you know, go ahead, go get them, you know, and they're going thousands of miles across the pond. That's tough for any parent. But one thing that you can, you know, do as a University of Hawaii program is do what they're doing now, which is put more money into the program and perhaps build a little bit more trust with these parents and say, look, your boy's going to be well taken care of. We got everything he needs. And yeah, he'll be thousands of miles away, but it'll be like he's just at home. So, you know, that's going to be the selling point for University of Hawaii. And I think it's good that they're doing these things.
Well, and the good thing also is this new grant of rights deal that's coming with the Mountain West Conference. Every University of Hawaii game is going to be nationally televised in some form.
Mhm.
Every single one of them. And so you're
Mhm.
right. You know, mom and dad are, let's just say they're in Texas and their son's 6,000 miles away in the middle of the Pacific Rim. And and by the way, if you've never been to Hawaii, folks, it's very isolated. And there is this, it's a real term. It's called island fever. You know, Shane and Ben know this as well as I do. If you want to go to the mountains one day and let's just say you live where I live. I live in Easley, South Carolina, right? And I want to go visit Ben. Ben's in Asheville, 45 minutes away. Up, get in the car, drive. No, not in Hawaii. You can go around the entire island of Oahu in an hour if traffic was perfect, which is never the case. But it's roughly 2.5 hour drive from around the entire island. That's with traffic and lights and everything. There's only 3 highways in Hawaii. That's H1, H2, H3. H3 goes right through. H1 goes all the way around. And H2 goes from west to east to west. So it's just how it goes, right? So you get it's a real thing, island fever. But now you have an opportunity to see your son pretty much play every time. Yeah, it still sucks that they're either 5 or 6 hours behind us, but you're still getting the opportunity to see your child. And what's really cool also is during this renovation, you know, and you guys heard Ben Jay talk about this, the athletic facility, the training facilities, like the locker rooms and stuff, they're pretty abysmal. They're still antiquated. They're better than what they used to be, but they're still not top notch yet. But part of this renovation is they are going to spruce up the entire locker room, the environment, everything. Like I said, even the Stan Sheriff Center is going to get heavily renovated. It's a big move for not only for the athletic program, but like you and Shane both alluded to, Ben, this is a good move for the entire state. So
Yep.
really excited for what is transpiring. And like we said, y'all, we will be at opening week. All of us will be there, including Matt. Now, Matt's not here because, like I said, Matt is sick. But yes, we will all be there. Really excited. And now it's time for the sports stories segment. Now, there's not much longer for this segment until the brand new segment starts. Shane, you told me you had a really good sports story. Go ahead, man.
Oh yeah, well, you know, it's a story that we've kind of heard before, but I don't know if we've heard one of this caliber. And you know, I really was intrigued by it. But uh, Jordan Adams was a Major League Baseball player for the past 8 years, and played with you know the Angels, the Orioles, and the Brewers during his 8 year MLB career. Well, he is going back to college. Um, uh, but to give a little bit of backstory behind him, Jordan Adams was a high school football and basketball star, or and baseball star. I'm sorry, But come June 5th in 2018, he made the decision to turn pro in baseball after being selected in the first round, giving up a opportunity to play both baseball and football at the University of North Carolina. Why I mention him specifically? It's because he was a 5-star wide receiver coming out of high school that went pro in baseball, and is now entering in to his what would be his freshman year at SMU to play football this year, already enrolled. Just to kind of put how good he was in high school. He was the number 3 ranked wide receiver in the 2018 class.
Wow.
The number 2 ranked wide receiver in that class is one Mr. Amaras St. Brown. He was number 3.
Oh, that's cool.
Number 4 was a Mr. Jamar Chase. And number 5 is Terrence Marshall. So, yeah, he was ranked up there with some of the greats that we see now in the NFL. So it's going to be a very interesting journey to watch with Jordan going back to college to play for SMU. I wish him the best of luck. We've seen it kind of transpire before. I've mentioned them before on the show, Brandon Weeden, who came back and was a standout quarterback at Oklahoma State. But we haven't had anybody kind of this caliber and of this high school ranking come back to play ball 8 years later. I know Ben's seen it, the picture of Will Anderson, of what he looked like at 18 and what he looks like now at 26. Big difference there. I'm going to be pulling for him. I wish him the best of luck in this coming season with SMU, except for one game, of course, against Virginia Tech.
He can sneak it up there, but the rest of the time he can take care of it.
Yeah, but definitely going to be interesting to watch, and was one that I thought really needed to shed some light on with this caliber of athlete coming back and playing college football after being a pro baseball player for 8 years.
Amen. I like that. Ben, what is your sports story you'd like to share with everybody?
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the FIFA World Cup is 3 days away. I'm sure we are all excited. I mean, it's an event that only happens once every 4 years, just like the Olympics. I want to highlight, 2 teams who are the presumed favorites. Spain and France seem to be, the presumed favorites. Now, those are, Spain is led by, a player by, like Rodri. In France, you got Kylian. I hope I'm saying this name right. Mbappe. I hope I'm saying that right. But both of those players, are key players if France and Spain are going to do it. Now, I know Spain. Spain has won quite a few tournaments the past few years. They won the. I want to say, I can't remember what it was called now. I know they have like their European kind of league that they play, but I know they won that back in 2024, I believe it was. Spain I think has to be the favorite. Now, tickets are not cheap, ladies and gentlemen. If you happen to come across a FIFA world a ticket event, if you happen to afford that, you're playing with house money. It's going to be quite the event. I will say, if you decide to go to Mexico City, pack all the sunscreen, bring a breathalyzer, because man, it is high up there. But yeah, FIFA World Cup, ladies and gentlemen, coming to the United States as well, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what happens. It's gonna be quite the blast. If anybody's driving around in these cities that a FIFA event is going on, all I gotta say is I'm praying for you, because these roads are ain't nobody gonna be going anywhere. So it's gonna be a blast, man. Looking forward to seeing what FIFA World Cup has in store for us this year.
And Ben, you're gonna be really excited to know this too. Next Wednesday, our guy John and myself are doing a FIFA World Cup weekly series. I will tell you this, Ben. John has already said, if you want to come on, Shane, Matt, everybody wants to come on, please do. We are eagerly excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, well, it starts next Wednesday on at 7:30. That's when you'll see myself and John, and you might see everybody else there too. So who knows?
And
My
in the
sport.
Olympics, by the way, in 2024. That's what I was trying to allude to.
There you
Yeah.
go. My sports story is about the Stanley Cup final between Carolina and Las Vegas. It's actually already gone down as the most watched final since Tampa Bay won their repeat in 2021. Between games 1 and 3, the average total viewership is up by 119% compared to last year's Stanley Cup final and up 132% from 2024's final. Wow. And there have been a lot of firsts this series too. Vegas, now this was crazy too, Shane. I still can't believe you guys didn't win this one. Vegas gave up 3 goals in 40 seconds, and Las Vegas still wins in double overtime.
Carolina were down by 4.
Yeah,
that's how we were down by 4. Okay,
and Carolina won their first game ever with the most shots on goal allowed. That was even crazier too. This is going to be the best finish to the NHL season though since 2021. I'm going to tell you guys now. I don't like going game 7. I hope this series goes 7 just because it's so much fun to watch. Both teams are electric. Both teams are high flying. I mean, at one point, I wouldn't be surprised if we see 8 goals scored by the two teams combined. And
Carolina's got to find a way to stop playing from behind them.
They really do. They do. They absolutely do.
Up 2-1 right now.
This is an amazing turn of events. I'm excited for everything that is transpiring with the Stanley Cup at 132%. That's pretty amazing. So shout out to the Stanley Cup final. And now it's time for everybody's favorite.
We're not even halfway through. Well, just over halfway through the first period, and it's already 3 goals scored combined.
I told you these teams are like they can, and that's one thing. Mark and I both said this because Mark is a Vegas Golden Knights fan. Shane, you're a Carolina guy. I mean, those teams, they can score in an abundance, and they are like boom, 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 and I'm like, this is amazing. And every time Cassie and I watch, she's like, man, these two teams, they're high power. They're fast. I'm like, I know it's insane how fast they can go at each other. I mean, at one point, I think it was like 35-18 on shots on goal. And then all of a sudden Carolina just shoots like 25 in a row. It was insane. I'm excited. Like I said, guys, I don't like to traditionally cheer on 7 series, but please let this series go 7 because I don't want to end hockey just yet. I'm enjoying a lot of what's going on. Now comes everybody's favorite segment. It is the Yes, it is the honorable mentions where we give you 2 to 5 sports stories that the mainstream media doesn't focus on, but we do. My first honorable mention is shout out to the UNC Tar Heels for the amazing comeback against USC. That's Southern Cal, by the way, folks. They were down 3-1 in the bottom of the 9th, and they were down to their final 2 outs, by the way. And UNC came back and won 4-3 to send UNC back to Omaha for the second time in 3 years, back to back, by the way. But here is something also that is alarming, and I didn't know this. Southern Cal hasn't been to Omaha since 2001, and they were only 2 outs away from getting back there, and they lost. But shout out definitely goes out to UNC for getting back to Omaha. Shane, give us your first honorable mention.
Oh, yeah, and to tag along with yours, I think North Carolina is the only repeat team in the College World Series in the last 5 years.
Yep.
Or something like that. So, so definitely insane to think of, and the disparity in college baseball, if you look at it like that, too, to get down to the last final tournament of the season and only have 1 repeat in 5 years.
I know, right?
So that's pretty good. But my first honorable mention is going to go out to everybody that had to withstand the longest day of golf. We had the U.S. Open qualifiers this week, and we had a few big names miss out. One being Tony Finau. Won't be in the U.S. Open for the first time since 2017, but we had a couple winners. And one I want to highlight is a young 17-year-old named Miles Russell. It ended up winning on Monday to make the U.S. Open. Is ranked the 10th amateur in the world, but did it with Charlie Woods on his bag as his caddy Monday. So he said that it was great to just have a friend out there. They just had fun. Didn't really talk golf too much, but just talked and had a good time. And he said that loose kind of play style played to his advantage. And at 17 years old, he's going to be competing for a U.S. Open here in next weekend. So he wasn't only 17-year-old. The other 17-year-old was let's see what if I can pronounce his name correctly. Giuseppe Puebla, who is actually the number 1 ranked amateur right now. But two 17-year-olds in the field in the U.S. Open. If you watch golf, it is probably the toughest tournament to try and compete at and win. So definitely good luck to those young men and everybody else who qualified for the U.S. Open here in a couple of weeks at Shinnecock Hills.
Oh, yeah. And we're golf fanatics, in case you guys can't tell. Ben.
Going Saturday.
Yeah, they see. There you go. Ben, what is your first honorable mention, man?
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Battle of Los Angeles was won by the LA Dodgers over the past weekend. But I want to highlight one specific game that was played on Saturday. A man by the name of Shohei Ohtani, y'all may know about him, had 3 hits in that game. He's starting to get his mojo back. But the big thing I want to highlight is in this game, there was 9 runs by the LA Dodgers in the first inning alone. Now, they didn't score at all the rest of the game. But who cares? They got all the score. They ended up winning. They got the W, so that's all that matters. But the fans in the first inning, they were probably jumping. Those final 8 innings, they're probably sitting there thinking, "All right, man, when's the next score going to come?" But shout out to the Dodgers for beating the Angels 2-1 in that series. Now the Angels did beat the Dodgers pretty handily that one game. I think it was 15-3. I want to say. It was
a high scoring affair.
They beat the Dodgers. They beat them going away. So now the Dodgers may have got all their scoring out of the way in that first inning of the previous game. So, but great game nonetheless, and a great job by the Dodgers. They're still not better than the Braves, though.
No way. Which, by the way, I think your boy hit another home run tonight, Ben.
About time.
He is starting to. He's awakened, and he's doing something special. My second honorable mention goes out to my girl. And her unfortunate, as you guys know, she was part of had an amazing softball season, but she also made it to All-Stars. Well, unfortunately, her softball season did come to an end, but was a fantastic experience. And the reason why I'm shouting out my girl is because she, her first game, she went 1 for 2 with a single and an RBI. And then the second game, she went 2 for 3. She had a single and a double and 2 RBIs. So shout out to my girl. That's what I call Addison. My daughter Addison, I call her my girl. But shout out to Addison for an amazing softball season. Really proud of her. She's really taken into softball. She's definitely becoming the sports girl that we both, Cassie and I, believed she was capable of. So she's taken a loving to basketball and to softball. But here's the crazy 2 things, Shane, and you're going to be so proud to hear this. Eastland and Holden said they want to play golf. And they said, "Can we play golf with Mr. Shane?" Shane, you got a little bit of a trainers. You got to start training my girls to play golf, man.
I don't know if they're ready for those words.
But he was
a funny sport.
Yeah. Well, here's a crazy thing too, and this is what also got me tickled. Is one day last week it was a torrential downpour, and so we were in the garage playing, right? And Eastland, Addison, and Holden were all playing a version of hockey in the garage. So really proud of them for doing that. But yeah, they said, "Daddy, can you get Mr. Shane to play golf with us?" So you got a special bit of a request there, man. So Shane, give us your second. Shane, give us your second honorable mention, please.
Well, I'm going to stay in the same sport as you with my second honorable mention. And my shout out is going to go to the AUSL. The season opening day was today. They've got a couple games on. If anybody doesn't know what the AUSL is, it's the softball
Athletic
league.
Unlimited.
Athletic Unlimited Softball League, but it's a professional softball league that we have here in the U.S., which is, we've talked about it expanding here in the coming years. But definitely great to see, ESPN's picked up a great amount of the games that are slated. So definitely going to be great to watch. And I just want to shout out them on opening day.
Amen to that one. I'm so excited. And Cassie's already said we're going to try and make it to a Carolina game because they play up in, I believe it's Durham. Yeah, they play in Durham, and we're going to try and make it to an AUSL game. So really excited on that one.
They've got Duke's old star. What's her Allie Gold? I think plays. This is her second year in the league. Plays third base for them.
Oh, nice.
She set a bunch of
It's 3-1 now.
Records.
Yeah, 3-1 Carolina. They just scored.
I know. I've been watching. I've been keeping my eye on it. You already know.
But what's really cool too, also, as we mentioned last episode or 2 episodes ago, about last episode, Maya Johnson, who battled lupus and overcame the odds of lupus, and was drafted by the Oklahoma City Sparks, and she is playing. I think it's actually the next game she plays. So really excited. But I mean, first off, guys, come on. I'm glad that softball is not over yet for the season. I'm so excited to see it. So, Ben, give us your second honorable. Boy, I'm jumping the gun. Your second honorable mention, please, sir.
It's Raleigh, by the way, Shane. But I mean, who cares? We're splitting hairs. It's Greenville and Spartanburg. It's the same thing. It's actually not, but if you know, you know. My next honorable mention goes to why not keep it in baseball, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to stick with the Milwaukee Brewers, the number 1 team in the NL Central. Still not as good as the Braves. That's to be determined, I suppose. But as of now, they are not better than the Atlanta Braves. But I'm going to highlight them because they played I still call them the Oakland Athletics. I don't care what anybody says. They played the Athletics last night in a 15-14.
Did you watch that whole game too, by the way, Ben?
Heck no. It probably would.
It'd be like 3 o'clock in the morning, wasn't it?
I was going to say, heck no. But, I heard about it. I read about it. And, man, what a game. I mean, 15-14 and 12 innings, yeah. Led by a man by the name of Jackson. I'm probably butchering this name. Jackson Chorio he had 3 hits for Milwaukee. And it's a home run. It was basically a home run derby, ladies and gentlemen. Who cares about going to you don't even need to go to the All-Star event now. If you were in attendance in that game, you know how many home runs they combined for? They combined for 11 home runs as a team, as both teams.
11?
11. Go back and look at the box score. Four by Milwaukee, and actually the Athletics had 7. So oddly enough, the Athletics had more. But as it turns out, getting all the slam dunks doesn't mean you're going to win the game. So
was that?
But if you were in attendance for that game, no need to go to the All-Star game now.
That's dog. 11, man, that's crazy. That's awesome though. Congratulations, by the way. And it is a minor league ballpark. So, but as we had our guy Tony, I said, wouldn't it be really cool if the Athletics had to play at a home playoff game, and they had said, "Hey, Oakland Coliseum, can we play there? Just what are you gonna do for us?" I think it'd been pretty cool. My third honorable mention goes out to all the amazing athletes who were a part of the Super Regionals in the Men's College World Series. By the way, I gotta give a shout out to West Virginia baseball. I mean, if you guys don't know by now, again, as we like to, the proverbial saying is "you living under a rock." Did you guys know this too? I love how they play "Take Me Home, Country Roads" after every win. I love it. And our good friend Amanda Maisie, her husband is actually the head baseball coach for West Virginia.
He was,
yeah.
But they've got a whole Randy's Ridge is what they call it up there on the hill in right field.
And I love how they sing it though. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I mean, I encourage you, literally go on YouTube, go on TikTok, go wherever. Just type in West Virginia baseball Country Roads, and you will see it's the entire stadium. They all stand and they all rock and they sing Take Me Home, Country Roads. It's so cool. So really, that's definitely one of the biggest highlights of the Men's College World Series is West Virginia and how they have their interactive fans. Now they have a very small chance, but there's a chance that they could win. So
you're telling me there's a chance?
I mean, I love it. But yes, congratulations to all the amazing athletes and going from the regional, super regionals, now in the men's College World Series. Shane, give us your third honorable mention, please.
Well, my third honorable mention is going to go to a young man named Carson Gordon. He is a quarterback for the UCLA Bruins, but as we all know, transfer portal in football and everybody, is closed per NCAA rules. Well, this young man has pulled out his Uno reverse card and is transferring to another school in track and will play football at the other school as well. So there is a way around this transfer portal window thing.
Well, I mean, as we see, everything's now a bit, and anything can happen nowadays.
Yeah, well, with the turmoil in the NCAA right now, with everything going on, it's definitely something that is being talked about on a much bigger stage than just us here on the show tonight. As we saw Saban up on Capitol Hill last week. So definitely interested to see how many other athletes can take this route as well before the NCAA says, I know, we know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. I like it. Ben, give us your third honorable mention, please, sir.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, shout out goes to the San Antonio Spurs last night for winning Game 3. Still a long series to go. I do think it goes to six or seven games. I'm still picking the Knicks. No, I know you're thinking, man, you're wearing a Spurs shirt. You're picking the Knicks. I'm picking the Knicks. I saw enough in games 1 and 2 to pick the Knicks. I think here's the thing. Here's the big reason why. The Knicks play with a lot more poise. They play with a lot more control. And even last night, the Spurs almost choked it again. The Spurs came very close to choking it 3 times in a row. The Spurs just looked flustered. And now last night they looked better in their defense. But the Spurs looked young. They have looked very young the first 2 games, and really even at times last night as well. So I'm still rolling with the Knicks. But shout out to the Spurs for at least making it a series. Wemby had 32, 8, and 6, as well as 3 blocks. Stephon Castle had 23, 5, and 5, by far his best game in the series. And really, honestly, probably his best game since the Western Conference Finals started. So it's a big props go up to the Spurs. We'll see if they can keep it going tomorrow in MSG, or we'll see if the Knicks take back control. So it should be a great series.
And no, we're not spending $10,000 to go sit in the Raptors at MSG. Ain't no way. Some of these
Donald Trump or Timothy Chalamet.
Well, did you see Shane told me this too? That you said $1 million each or something like that, Shane? $1 million.
Yeah, for two seats on Celebrity Row.
I'm sorry. Even if I had that money, I wouldn't spend that. I can think of a million different reasons to where I can spend my money wisely instead of just sitting at a basketball game. I mean, don't you have that? If you can afford $1 million on tickets, you can afford $1 million on a nice TV. Just saying. That's just my thoughts on that one. I was going to give you another honorable mention, but because of time constraints, we're coming to the end. Shane, do you have one more you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was just going to shout out Calais Campbell. He came out of Ravens minicamp and stated that this is likely going to be his last year of playing NFL football. And at 40 years old, I think he's 11th right now on the
well-deserved career
active sack leaders and 34th all time. But great career, and I just wanted to mention Calais Campbell with that news today.
Good, actually, great career. Ben, do you have anything else you'd like to share?
I do. Yeah, I got one more. I'm gonna keep it with the New York Knicks final series. This time, I'm gonna give a shout out to the operations crew at Madison Square Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, this is arguably, Madison Square Garden is arguably the greatest basketball venue in the entire world. Yes, sorry, LA, they're better than crypto. I don't care what you say. Going to a game at Madison Square Garden it's a bucket list. It should be a bucket list item on every Hooper's list. I know it is on mine. I don't care if they play the freaking Wizards. I would love to see a game at MSG. Ladies and gentlemen, last night they had that place on lockdown. If you had heard anything about that game or done any research or heard anything about it at all or seen anything on YouTube, you would know that place is locked up tighter than Fort Knox. They had like 2 or 3 different checkpoints to get through. They weren't even allowing clear bags in that.
They also had the president there too. So
yeah, President Donald Trump was there, and because of that, they weren't. Most sporting events they'll let you bring in a clear bag at least, not MSG. Last night they weren't allowing any bags in. So shout out to Madison Square Garden for always hosting a great event. They know what the heck they're doing. But shout out to MSG for just doing as good a job as always, doing a splendid job getting everybody in and out. Great, maybe the greatest operations staff in all of sports, really. They're definitely up there.
Love it. That's a good one. It's always a good time to talk sports with you guys. I hate that it's coming to an end for the night, but we're back with you on Friday. Here's a list of the upcoming episodes. Friday, 2:37, we have Danny Campbell. He is the athletic director of Spartanburg Methodist College. He'll be joining the show. Episode 238, Tuesday, June 16th. Mike Markham, the public address announcer for the Charlotte Crowns professional women's basketball team. Plus, our guy Tony Gladstone is back. Episode 239 will be Friday, June 19th. Marcus McCallum is back. It's always good to see Marcus. Episode 240 will be June the 23rd. That's Tuesday. Episode 241 will be Friday, June 26th. Then episode 242, Tuesday, June 30th. As you guys know, Tony Knows Ball series is back. And then this is the big one. Episode 243, Friday, July the 3rd. The best guest of the show. We have about 30 guests lined up for it. So, yes, there literally is no sports talk that day. It's just going to be telling us how their journey has been since coming on the show. It's our best guest episode. And then, as you guys know, 244 will be Tuesday, July 7th, Marcus McCallum. And then 245 will be Friday, July the 10th. Want to let everybody know also that the Sportz Nutz, as I said in the beginning, and the Pitch Grid are teaming up to bring you a weekly insight of the World Cup coverage. So stay tuned for that one. So with that being said, for everybody who tuned into the show tonight, listen live on the radio that we air on in our international audience, thank you so much. Ben, give a quick final goodbye, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, everybody have a safe evening, safe week. Stay dry. Unless you live out west, anywhere east of Kansas is going to be getting deluged this next week. Getting a wet start to the beginning of summer here. But everybody stay dry, stay safe, and God bless everybody. Have a great week.
Absolutely, Shane. Give a quick final goodbye, please, sir.
Oh yeah, well, Matt, we hope you get the feeling better. We appreciate everybody joining us tonight. But as always, may the good Lord bless you. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
Peace, love, and bacon grease. Indeed, as I always tell you guys, peace up, A-Town down. Why? It's the greatest sports day that ever was. You guys have a fantastic week. We will be back with you on Friday. Until then, as Ben said, enjoy the weather. It should be nice for some of you guys. Of course, the weather is fickle. Expecting to be temperatures in the upper 90s and low 100s here. So make sure you guys stay hydrated. Until then, we will talk to you guys on Friday. Enjoy the outro. And as always, goodbye.